chickadees, welcome to a new video. Today I will be showing you how I made this jumper dress for living out the Gothic Victorian fantasy of my 13-year-old self. So I have this skirt here from this electric blue corduroy. I hope the sound is okay. It's actually peeing it down with the rain today and someone's got a power hammer that keeps going off, so hopefully it'll be alright. I'm just using my external mic. So yes, I've got this skirt and it's my usual 7-panelled walking skirt with pleats and gathers at the back there, but I caught it on a bush and the rain is getting louder, so I caught it on a bush and ended up tearing it, which was so annoying. It was one of those days where things just kept going wrong and this was the last thing to go wrong and I was just like, I give up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair this with, I've got here, this is my phone, a bit of cotton with some the thin stuff that glues two things together used for applique. So I've got that there, so I'm going to pop that on the back and then just run a zigzag stitch around it, and if I then don't really like how it looks, I might add a pocket. James suggested adding a pocket, but I don't know if that'll be too far to the side, and I don't tend to like patch pockets on skirts anyway, because they don't, you know, fold with the fabric, they kind of just stick out, which I'm not a fan of personally. I made sure to iron the area flat and press the bonder web and cotton firmly into place. I then ran a zigzag stitch along the tear. I will hopefully at some point cover it further with some embroidery. I then removed the old straight waistband as I wanted to replace it with a Swiss waist style one, like the one Lady Rebecca Fashions made. Her jumper dress was my main inspiration, and I'll link the video down in the down bar below for you. And I know Ivy of the Solo Artist also made one, and I'll put her Instagram down below. I made the Swiss waist pattern by draping it on my dress form and then cutting it from my cord fabric. I ran a line of stitching a ½ inch from the bottom edge of one piece and then notched the curves so I could press the seam allowance up. I then pinned it to the skirt whilst it was on my dress form. I only pinned the front half of the skirt and then removed it so I could properly measure the rest to fit properly into the waistband. It did mean I had to fiddle with the pleats slightly. I then top stitched the waistband into place. Then it was onto the straps. This is where my order of operations got a little bit chaotic and I made some really odd decisions about how to put things together. I draped the straps first with a strip of paper and then transferred it to a clean sheet, making sure one edge was super straight. I cut 2 pieces from my cord and then 2 lining pieces from some lilac cotton. I stitched along the curved side and flipped it right side out and pressed. What I should have done now is drape the pieces on myself and mark where the short front band would go so I could stitch the straight edges, leaving a gap for the small piece to slot into. But I didn't. Instead, I attached the straps to the waistband, folding in the seam allowance on the straight edge and then placing the other waistband piece on top to sandwich the straps in place. It was only then that I put the skirt on and marked where I wanted the front piece to go, and draped a paper template for the sizing. I made up this piece and then trimmed it with lace before attaching it to the straps so that it would be nice and neat. However, it was at this moment where I realised that I should have done the same with the straps. Alas, it was too late for that, as I didn't want to unpick the waistband because this cord was quite thin in a way, and I haven't had a lot of luck with corduroy fabric in the past and not just completely disintegrating if you try and unpick it. So instead I folded the seam allowances of the long edges inwards and top stitched the cord and lining layers together. This was then covered with lace trim, but it did leave an ugly sewing line on the underneath. I then set about trimming the rest of the dress. I had run out of the first type of lace, so went through my stash to find a matching one for the waistband and a thicker one for around the bottom of the skirt. For some reason, to measure how far up the skirt I wanted the trim to be, I used the bit of cardboard that it was on. I have no idea why I did this, but it served me well. Once this was done and I had hand finished the edges of the lace because they needed to be turned under, I finished the whole garment with 2 buttonholes and it was done. Even though I put it together in a really odd way and there are some bits that look quite untidy, I still really love how it turned out. I need to make a black blouse to go underneath it, and I am considering also making a shorter version. I will link Rebecca's video down below for you, and I'm thinking about setting up a jumper dress playlist, so if you know anyone else who's made a jumper dress, I think Angela Clayton did as well, then let me know and I will get about adding it to that playlist. If you would like to support the channel further, then why not considering donating to my coffee? The link for that can be found in the description bar down below. Whilst you're there, if you want to like, comment and subscribe, that would be really helpful. And don't forget to be kind to yourself and compassionate to others, and I will see you all in the next video.